Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Priyansh Agarwal. I'm a third year undergraduate at IIIT Delhi and I'm pursuing a BTech in computer science. So in this video, I will be talking about my overall on-campus internship drive experience here at IIIT Delhi. And before I begin, let me just give you an overview of how actually the things happen when you talk about internships and placements on campus, right? So at the end of your second year, companies visit the campus to hire interns that will be interning at their company in the summer break after the third year. Similarly, at the end of your third year, the companies visit your campus to hire for full-time roles. So that was the exact thing that happened at my college. Like I am right now in my third year, I'm in my fifth semester. So I have been through that journey of, preparing for internships, actually sitting in that internship drive and actually getting an internship at the end, right? So in this video, I will be talking about all of this. I will be talking about which all companies I applied for, which all companies I gave the coding tests for, and how did I actually perform in those coding tests. And apart from that, at the end, I will be talking about which company I actually ended up getting and how was the overall experience. Now, before I start talking about my overall experience, there is a very strange policy that I want to talk about that is there in my college when it comes to on-campus internships. So this policy is called one person, one internship policy. Now, how this policy works is that let's suppose 10 companies are going to be visiting my campus, and let's say I get an internship in the third company itself. So what happens is that as soon as I get an internship in the third company, I am basically out of the complete internship process and I won't be able to sit for any companies that visit my campus after this third company. Now let me just talk about how this policy actually negatively affects a lot of people. So let's say that my dream company is Google. Let's just consider an example. And Google does not visit my campus on the very first day. So what happens in this case is that let's suppose I get an internship in the first 2 days. Let's say I get an internship at Microsoft or Amazon and I want to get into Google. So the thing is that if I've already got an internship, I won't be able to sit for Google. Now this is where it negatively affects a lot of people, but it also positively affects quite a lot of people. And how does that happen? So let's say there are 10 people in a batch who are extremely pro, who are extremely extraordinary. So it is very normal that they get an internship in the first few days. So what happens is that the future companies that will be visiting our campus will be able to hire people who don't have an internship right now, right? So people who are sort of average, who are not at an extraordinary level, they sort of get an advantage here in the later days of the internship drive. So I am not quite against this policy or I'm for this policy. I'm not saying anything like that, but this is something that I wanted to just clarify so that you can get to know about my journey better. And with that said, let's begin with the video. Let me talk about my overall experience in the on-campus internship drive at IIIT Delhi. Right, so the internship drive at IIIT Delhi for the year of 2021 started in the first week of July. And how everything happened was that at the end of June, in the last week of June, we were given a list of companies that will be visiting our campus in the upcoming week. Now, there was a very big list, but I had selected a very few companies that I would want to, sort of apply for. And the reason for selecting a very few companies was very simple, the one person, one internship policy. I did not want to end up in a company that I would not like to work for and later on regret that I did not get a very good company. So the first company that I applied for was LinkedIn and I gave the coding test of LinkedIn. So LinkedIn had around 4 coding questions in the coding test. 2 of these problems were very easy, very, very easy. They were of level, I would say 800 or 1000 rated on Codeforces. And when you talk about the other 2 problems, they were pretty difficult. The third problem was really very difficult, around 2000 rated on Codeforces. And the fourth problem as well was very difficult. Now the catch here was that the third problem was Googleable. So anybody who was sort of Googling during the round had a clear edge above the people who were not Googling, right? So I myself had to, put in a lot of effort to get the third problem. And I ended up wasting around 45 minutes in order to even get to the solution of the third problem. And for the people who were already Googling, they could get it in around 5 to 10 minutes. So at the end, what ended up happening was that I ended up getting around 3.9 questions out of 4. Now, how am I saying 3.9? It is because I ended up getting 3 questions completely. And when you talk about the fourth problem, I was able to get 90% of the test cases right in that. But the sad part is that I wasn't shortlisted for interviews. I wasn't very sad. I was totally okay that I did not end up getting all the 4 questions. So that is fine. And I mean, I did not end up getting an internship at LinkedIn. So that is how the whole scenario for LinkedIn ended. So the second company that I applied for was Microsoft. Microsoft was one of my dream companies. It is still one of my dream companies, especially because of the amazing work culture that they have. So I applied for Microsoft and they had a coding test where they had 2 coding questions. Both of these coding questions were very trivial. I mean, anybody who's done coding for around 1 or 2 months would be easily able to get both of these problems. So what happened was that anybody who was giving this coding test, almost everybody was able to solve both of these problems. So at the end, what happened was that Microsoft did not shortlist me. I am not sure why. Even though I had solved both of the coding problems, maybe they had a certain other criteria that they were shortlisting on. Maybe they had a criteria of GPA. Maybe they sort of shortlisted on the basis of GPA and selected only people who had greater than 9 GPA. That could have been one scenario. Another scenario could have been that they sort of shortlisted on the basis of projects. So if you look at my resume is filled up with competitive programming achievements. All I've done in the past 2 years is just competitive programming. I've done a little bit of development, but if you compare my development with the development that my peers have done, my peers are way ahead than me in development. And similar was the case if you talk about competitive programming. I was ahead of almost everybody in my batch at IIIT Delhi if you talk about competitive programming. So maybe they looked at my resume and they did not like it because I did not have very good projects. So that could have been another scenario. But at the end, what happened was that I did not end up getting shortlisted for the interviews at Microsoft. Now, after applying for these 2 companies and not getting shortlisted, I was in a totally frustrated situation. I was really frustrated. I was really sad that even after being practicing for such a long time, I am not able to get even the interviews. I'm not even able to make it to the interviews where I can show how much I know. Right. So that was one situation. I was really sad. And before the internship drive actually started, I was in a situation where I was thinking that my profile looks much better than a lot of people in my batch. So I would ideally be getting shortlisted in the first few companies itself. But that did not end up happening and I was really sad about it. But it sort of also, brought me down on earth. Like I feel that before the internship drive, I was kind of overconfident. But after these 2 setbacks, I was back on earth. Right, so the next company in line was Tower Research. Tower Research again is an amazing company. I would have totally loved to be having an internship at Tower Research, right? So what happened was that before the coding test of Tower Research only sent the coding test link to a few students. They did not send the coding test link to everybody that had applied for it. Now, how did they shortlist, people for this coding test was on the basis of CGPA. So I had a CGPA of 8.85 and looking at the people who were shortlisted at Tower Research, who were shortlisted for the coding test, I could see that only the people who had greater than 9 GPA were being shortlisted. So that was like really sad for me. I was in a totally frustrated situation. I was very, very sad at this point that there are 3 companies that have gone and I don't have an internship yet. Now, I am saying 3 companies. These are the 3 companies that I actually applied for. There were quite a lot of other companies like MathWorks, Oracle that had also, their process is running and, I hadn't applied for them specifically because I did not want to end up getting an internship at a company through that one person, one internship policy and not being able to, apply for better companies. So after Tower Research came Google. Now, Google is one company which is supposed to be the dream company for almost every competitive programmer. Like if you're a competitive programmer, Google is one company that you always aim for. Google is like a bar that you want to reach this bar if you are a good competitive programmer, right? So the reason is that Google in their whole interview process only values your problem solving skills. They only value your DSA and competitive programming skills. So they don't ask any questions around CS fundamentals or let's say projects. They only focus on your problem solving skills. They give you certain problems. If you're able to solve them, pretty good. You will be getting an internship at Google. If you're not able to solve them, then yeah, you don't get an internship. It is as simple as that. So there is no like a gray region. This is completely black and white. Right. So I applied for Google and they had a coding test which had 2 coding questions. Both of these coding questions were extremely very difficult. Now, as these questions were of Google, this was expected. We were expecting that the problems that we get in Google's coding test will be very difficult. So I was sort of prepared for it because I had been doing competitive programming for the past 2 years. Just to give you certain stats, I am among the top 130, I guess, competitive programmers right now in India. And I am a candidate master on Codeforces and a 6-star coder on CodeChef. Also, if you compare my rating or my overall competitive programming profile to my peers at IIIT Delhi, I sort of stand in the top 3 in my batch. Right. So what happened was in the coding test, I was able to solve 1.5 questions. Both of these questions were very difficult and even getting 1.5 out of them was like an achievement for me. So after the coding test, when I talked to a lot of my peers, I realized that there were quite a lot of people who weren't able to get even a single problem, or even a few test cases of a single problem. So I was pretty sure that I will get shortlisted. And the thing is that when you talk about Google's shortlisting, they don't just shortlist on the basis of this coding test. They take a pretty long time to shortlist people. They look at your resume, and then they also look at your coding test performance. So they sort of shortlist on the basis of both of these things. And my resume was particularly, for Google. Like, my overall resume was filled with competitive programming achievements, and there were contests like Google Kickstart, which are specifically organized by Google, and I had a pretty great performance in them. So I was pretty sure that my resume will be getting shortlisted, or my overall profile will be getting shortlisted for the interview. But what ended up happening was that Google did not release their result in a very short span of time. They took a long amount of time to decide which all people they will be shortlisting. And in the meantime, what happened was that the next company that in line was Goldman Sachs. Right. So what happens is that if there is a process that is running right now with a company, you can sort of apply to other companies as well. If you don't apply to a company, then you sort of just miss out on that opportunity. But even while a process is running, you can apply to other companies. And like I said, there is a one person, one internship policy. So whichever company gives you an offer first, you have to take that offer. You cannot say no to that offer. Right. So Google did not release their result in a short span of time. And what ended up happening was that Goldman Sachs was the next company in line. So Goldman Sachs coding test was the next that I had to give. Right. So I gave Goldman Sachs coding test, and there were quite a lot of things that were there in this coding test. There were coding questions, there were aptitude questions, there were questions on CS core fundamentals, and then there were also questions on HR. Like, there were HR questions asking you to answer some behavioral questions. Now the situation was that my Goldman Sachs interview was scheduled 2 days after the coding test, right? And just 1 day before the interview, what happens is that I end up getting, a mail from Google that I have been shortlisted for interviews at Google as well. Right. Now, just before the interviews, I was in a situation that if I sort of perform good in Goldman Sachs interview, I will be getting shortlisted. I will be getting an internship at Goldman Sachs. But if I get an internship at Goldman Sachs, I won't be even getting a chance to interview for Google. So that was the kind of situation that I was in. I had sort of decided that I would be underplaying in the interviews at Goldman Sachs. But as soon as my first interview at Goldman Sachs started, the interviewer looked at my resume and he was like, "How are you so pro?" Now, as soon as he said this, I knew for a fact that everything was over. I am finally getting an internship at Goldman Sachs. The thing is that I could have underplayed. I did not ended up underplaying totally. Like, I was in a situation where I was not performing to my full potential, and I was also not performing to a level where, showing that I don't know anything. So the thing was that there were 3 interviews. I sort of performed good enough in all these 3 interviews, and I ended up getting an internship at Goldman Sachs. So for the next summer in 2022, I will be interning at Goldman Sachs. And now you all know that after I got an internship at Goldman Sachs, everything was over. The whole internship drive for me was over. Right, so what happened was that my Google's interview was scheduled in a couple of days, and I had to specifically mail Google saying that I won't be able to make it to the interviews because I already have an offer. And that is overall my internship drive experience. So yeah, that was it for this video, guys. I hope you all liked this video, and in case you did, it would mean the world to me if you smash the like button below. Apart from that, I'm also thinking of inviting quite a lot of other people to this channel to talk about their interview experiences. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is so that, you guys can learn at least something from their experiences. And when it comes to your own interviews, you can sort of perform better. Like, I already have one such video that I shot with Parth Chabra. He is from my own college, IIIT Delhi, and has an intern offer from Tower Research. So in case you want to check out more such videos, you can refer to that video as well, and I will provide the link here in the I tab. Also, this channel is pretty close to 20k subscribers, so in case you have been following my content and you like it, then it would mean the world to me if you subscribe. Right, so till then, see you, bye bye, I'll meet you in another video.